Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's Juan Solo here with ASQD Gaming, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for tuning in today for some more Ghost Recon. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about a new gear management system that I believe should be in the next Ghost Recon game. This would be a new system that would help bridge the gap between the more arcade-style tactical shooters that we have seen in previous Ghost Recon games and the ultra milsim style games like Arma, Squad, and Escape from Tarkov. Finding a happy medium between those two genres would help appeal to more players and also make the game a more fulfilling experience with many different ways to play the game. That was one of the pillars of development for Ghost Recon Wildlands, allowing you to have the tactical freedom to play exactly how you wanted to play, and with this new gear management system, it would do just that. It should be a core pillar in whatever is coming next for the Ghost Recon franchise as a whole, just like it was back in Ghost Recon Wildlands. As we go through this, make sure to comment your thoughts down below. Let's get a discussion going and get as much feedback around this topic as possible to get over to the developers. But with that being said, real quick before we jump into it, if you guys go on to enjoy the video, a like rating would be super appreciated. Also, for those of you that may be new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on those post notifications so you do not miss any of my future uploads. So starting off with this system, the main goal is to make it so that whatever gear you wear in the game actually matters. But before we go in depth with the gear management mechanics, one of the key elements would be a proper camouflage system that makes it so that whatever camo you are wearing in certain environments actually affects your visibility to the enemy. With the optical camo system that was added to Ghost Recon Breakpoint and Operation Motherland, it shows that they can have a system like that changes your visibility to the enemy in certain instances, like when you activated the camo itself. All I'm asking for is if we are wearing a camo that should blend in better in a certain environment, it should allow us to be harder to spot by the enemy, rather than just having the Assassin's Creed stealth mechanic that's currently in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, where the screen kind of darkens on the edges when you are actually in stealth and everywhere else is unaffected. I think this would be a huge step forward for the Ghost Recon franchise as a whole. So now moving into the actual core gear management system that I want to see in the next Ghost Recon game. Depending on what gear you have in your loadout, it will change a set of characteristics for your character. For instance, if you want to have high mobility and stealth, you would go with a lighter kit. If you wanted to be able to tank a few more rounds and also have some extra ammo for extended engagements, you're going to lose some of that mobility and stealth, but you would be a little bit tankier. But this would be more in-depth than just like a slider bar system. You would have the option to pick a chest rig and load it out with however many magazines you think you would need, as well as grenades and tactical equipment. With that being said, this new system would change the ammo pool system to an actual magazine system, where mags left half empty would be put back into the chest rig and remain half empty. If you cycle back around to that first magazine again, it would only have the amount of bullets that were in it when you reloaded. With this new system, it would allow for different types of reloads to be implemented into the game as well. A normal reload would be taking the magazine out and swapping it in your chest rig for another magazine, but if you're in a situation where you need to be fast, there's an option for a quick reload where you just eject the empty magazine and immediately put in a fresh one. The consequence of this is you lose the magazine entirely unless you pick it back up off of the ground, but this would drastically increase the speed of your reload if you're in a situation that actually requires it. So with that being said, by doing all of this, there would have to be a new mechanic allowing you to be able to repack your magazines to get them back to full capacity, but there are definitely ways to implement that system that would not make it a cumbersome task on a controller. This also goes for grenades and tactical equipment. You would visually see these items on your kit, and once you use them, they are gone until you resupply. This would also go hand in hand with the tactical belt that we saw in Ghost Recon Breakpoint. This piece of gear would be a customizable piece of gear so that you could carry more ammo and tactical equipment, but you would have the option, if you wanted to unequip the tactical belt completely. This would give the players more choice in customizing their loadouts in a way that matters more and would have more of an effect on gameplay. Escape from Tarkov does this really well, but that is definitely leaning more toward a hardcore milsim shooter that I don't think everyone would want to see for Ghost Recon. There are definitely systems in Escape from Tarkov that I think could be implemented or even slightly simplified and put into a future Ghost Recon game to really dial in that tactical shooter of today. The developers would just have to find a way to implement this system without requiring there to be a crazy in-depth inventory system like Arma and Escape from Tarkov. That really wouldn't work very well on console, and I think it would alienate a lot of players if that type of an inventory system was put into Ghost Recon. It would have to be heavily catered around the weapon wheel system that was implemented in Ghost Recon Breakpoint. That was a really good system, and if it was improved and expanded upon, it would work really well with this new gear management system. With the customizability in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, this new system should be a toggleable feature in the settings though, so for those of us that want a more realistic tactical experience where what we equip on our characters actually matters, we should be able to do that. But also for more casual players that just want to play a less complicated version of the game, they should be allowed to adjust that in the settings as well. So now before we jump into the next segment, I also wanted to talk about customizable helmets, and this might be getting a little bit nitty gritty with the gear management system, but more things to do in the game is not a bad thing. This is something that I think would be really cool from a cosmetic and a functional system. In real life, there are multiple attachments that you can put on a military helmet depending on what it is. Even if the developers allowed us to just put on tactical flashlights and multiple types of NVGs, that would be a good start, possibly even allowing us to equip different meshes. We did see this with a couple of different helmets in Ghost Recon Breakpoint's Motherland DLC, but it wasn't like a customizable feature, it was just built into the helmet itself. But either way, more customization is always better than less, at least in my opinion. Now moving on to the new backpack system that would be directly tied into the gear management system itself. So currently in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, there is a weapon wheel system in the game that in my personal opinion works really well and has great function, but when you have to go back into the menu system to swap out equipment on the weapon wheel itself, it's immersion breaking and, to be honest, quite annoying. So with the new backpack system, this would change it so that what backpack you equipped actually mattered. Every backpack would have a new animation that would allow you to remove it and go into its inventory of the items that it contained. Depending on what backpack you equip, it would open up a new weapon wheel that would contain roughly 4 to 12 slots depending on the backpack that you choose. This in turn would hold other pieces of equipment and extra ammo depending on what you loaded out with before you go out on a mission. It would definitely be more immersive, and it would allow you to be aware of your surroundings while you are playing the game. It would not take you out of the experience into a menu. It would all be happening in-game in real time when you go to access that extra inventory. This would also give the player a reason to care about their loadout more. If you want to be fast and stealthy, you might have to minimize your kit a little bit and take less ammo or even no backpack at all, but having that choice is what it's all about. Last but not least, a new and improved gunsmith system that would tie directly into this new gear management system as well. I will be doing a dedicated video on this, but for the gear management system itself, allowing us to pick how many weapons we equip right from the start of the game is a must. Similar to the immersive experience in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, we should be allowed to pick 1 or 2 primary weapons and a sidearm or any combination of them. Even allowing us to have no weapons at all and just going in there with melee, I think would be a really cool feature. Also, having weapon slings with this new gear system would add a touch more of realism instead of our weapons magically attaching to our backs when we switch weapons. Customizing the weapons with even more detail than in previous Ghost Recon games is a must as well. Like I said, I'm going to be going in depth with this in a separate video, but lasers, flashlights, different sights, canned sights, customizable foregrips and pistol grips would be a huge step in the right direction for the Ghost Recon franchise. To be honest, I could go on and on talking about this, but that is where I'm going to wrap it up for this video on the new gear management system that I want to see in the next Ghost Recon. Did you like the things that I mentioned in this video, or would you rather see Ubisoft stick to a more arcade style mechanic in the Ghost Recon franchise? Make sure to let me know all of your thoughts and feedback on this topic down below in the comments. All feedback from this video will be sent over to the developers, so please let me know your thoughts in those comments below. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, you would like to see a gear management system implemented in the next Ghost Recon, make sure to drop a like on the video and also subscribe if you are new to stay up to date on all content surrounding the Ghost Recon franchise here on the channel moving forward. But that is all for now. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.